Hardy Construction.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com as well as youtube.com/hardyconstruction with your host Alex and
Top Hat Boy.
And today's film is
Scanners.
Scanners is a 1981 I was gonna say horror film. Is it? Yeah, horror
It
science
takes place in a Kinko's.
horror science fiction film by director David Cronenberg, because we are marking off the month of.
Oh, David Cronenberg month.
And this is about as horror as it gets with this guy.
It's all about, you know, going and taking like documents and
yeah, it's really fucking boring.
Putting them into you know, a machine known as a scanner. And
it's just 2 hours of
that's the whole movie. It's like spooky shots of scanning machines with like weird music playing.
Yeah, it's just insane. You know, somebody will fund that and that'll make like a lot of money in the hipster scene. But
probably
Scanners via IMDb. A scientist sends a man with extraordinary, or is it extraordinary?
Extraordinary
Psychic powers to hunt others like him.
Don't they come to the same thing?
I guess. It's written and directed by David Cronenberg. Was this not based on something, or did it?
I guess it was based on the mind of David Cronenberg.
Well. Let me see what Wikipedia says. Scanners is a 1981 science fiction action horror film written and directed by David Cronenberg and starring Jennifer O'Neill, Stephen Lack. Is Stephen Lack the guy who plays the main character?
I don't know. He did lack in acting skills.
Damn it! That's what I was gonna fucking say.
Oh, I stole your
hate
joke.
You. God damn it! Always one episode you steal my joke. Anyway, alright, fuck you. Go tell. No, I'm just kidding. Michael Ironside, who everybody knows as was he No, that wasn't Cohagen. Who was the guy in?
He was in the bad guy in Total Recall.
Yeah, that's right. But he was in.
And he's in like every fucking movie. I think
he was Richard or something like that. He goes, "Welcome to the party, Richard." Or "See you at the party, Richard." Or whatever. That was the best. I remember watching that.
He's the like assistant.
He's in everything. Yeah.
That guy, Copagan. He's like his assistant.
Like he's one of those that guy actors where you see.
And he
him
fucked you know, Arnold's wife in that.
Oh yeah.
He was actually with her.
Yeah, that was like the only. That was like what I've only seen 2 of her movies, Basic Instinct and that.
I've never even seen Basic Instinct. I don't know.
That movie was alright.
Who is she again? That's like
the old blonde.
I'm so bad with this shit.
No, finally you forgot, but I forgot as well, so I guess it's equal. In the film, Scanners are people with unusual telepathic and telekinetic powers. Consec Corporation searches out scanners to use them for its own purposes. The film's plot concerns the attempt by Daryl Revok, was it Revok?
It's Revok. It's very, very, very much like Firestarter.
That's a horrible name. A renegade scanner to wage a war against Consec. Another scanner, Cameron Vale, is dispatched by Consec to stop Revok. This guy, Cronenberg knows how to direct, but he can't fucking write a regular name to save his life. Cameron
I like it, Revok. That's a cool name.
But it sounds like he jumped out of a Stephen King novel. Like he's, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you,
tentacles
it's a lot like Firestarter. He kind of ripped off Firestarter.
I guess so. Well, what I did enjoy about this film is that you see, well, you sort of see telekinetic fighting going on. It's kind of my first view of telekinesis in movies is like Akira, so like Japanese cartoons and stuff like that. So to actually see it in American films is pretty cool, although it's not using the same bombast and you know, special effects. They just kind of just shake their heads a bit, which they kind of
and their veins bulge out. Right,
and they did that with the film. Like I just showed Top Hat a second ago, Scanner Cop 2 or something like that. This film has about 5 films in its thing, and I'm sure Cronenberg had nothing to do with the other ones. But Cronenberg did the one. Cronenberg did one, and there was Scanners 2 and 3, and then there was Scanner Cop 1 and 2. So I guess they have a police officer that has scanner powers, and they changed it from scanners. Like, how would you explain when they scan people?
It just looked really stupid from the 2-second clip.
Well, in Scanners 1, it looks like a guy just trying to control your mind, and he's not going crazy. In Scanner Cop, by the time they got to Scanner Cop, the guy looked like he was trying to take a shit.
It looked like he was like seizuring.
Right. So anyway, let's get into
explosive diarrhea.
Let's get into Scanners 1. What's your history with this film?
I've like seen the cover 8 million times.
Yeah, I've seen
but
the poster
never
for the longest time.
never watched it, and I was so happy when I finally got to see the scene that is the cover.
Yeah, yeah. At the end, it's like total full-on Akira, white eyes, electric powers, and shit like that. The first time I've ever seen anything from Scanners is the infamous shot of the guy's head exploding in the room. I've seen that like a lot of times because when you first go to the internet, the first things you know, when you go to your friend's house, it's like a long time, like in the '90s and stuff. I go to my friend's house, and the first thing you either see is really disgusting pornography or people dying and stuff like that. So one of the clips is always that shot of the guy's head exploding. You know, got the glasses and the bald head and the mustache. And I was like, Jesus Christ!
I wish that they kept that.
I thought at the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, this is gruesome. Then I realized, like, why would a guy just be standing there with his hands normal and his head explodes? You could shoot somebody in the head like that, but there was just something about it that looked phony. Then later on, I got to realize it was a fucking movie, and I was like, oh yeah.
I wish that like it kept that sort of vibe because it kind of like
yeah, they spent all their head exploding money on one guy, and that happened.
Yeah, and it was in the first 5 minutes of the film, so like. Now, what are we left with?
This guy, I don't know what happened. Nobody knows how to act in this film at all. The only person that knows how to... Well, there's two people that know how to act. Michael Ironside, Revik, and Jennifer O'Neill, who plays Kim Obrist. But they're...
I thought that Dr. Ruth was okay.
Yeah, he was okay, but you can... just the way that they all talk in the film...
The main guy, there were points where I was like, whoa, actually, this is not good.
The main actor in the film, Stephen Lack, who Danny stole my joke, is horrible. He's terrible. And I just thought... I was like, was this movie made in the 70s? Because I was just, like, not thinking about it. This was made before The Dead Zone, right? I would hope.
Because the book wasn't written yet. I don't think. Or
okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, actually.
But, yeah, the way that a lot of 70s films... I don't
know.
Wait,
no, the book was written in 79. Whatever.
The way that a lot of actors in films in the 70s... I mean, I've seen 70s films where people act normal, but this, for some reason, it's just... Nobody talked normal in this movie. Except for Michael Ironside. And,
there were certain points where the guy was talking, and I almost felt like it was like a joke, maybe, but like it was real.
Wow, so Stephen Lack was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 films. His last film was in something called Ernst Fall in Havana in 2002.
Any of them are known films?
He was in Perfect Strangers. That was the 1984 film. It wasn't with Balky.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he was in anything anybody knew. He was
in... you ever see that movie with Balky called Do You Believe in Magic?
Oh.
Or something.
You know, that's vaguely familiar to me, but I can't.
He gets like struck by lightning and has like all these like psychic powers and shit, and like it's like a nice movie.
Is it? Does he act Balky-ish, or is he kind of like?
No, he's not Balky. Well, actually, I guess he kind of is supposed to be like this like foreign guy or whatever. But like he, you know, it's just nice. At one point, he's like sleeping and giving out lottery numbers and stuff.
There's something about Bronson Pinchot when he's not Balky or the gay guy from Beverly Hills Cop. He just kind of comes off like a cunt. Like
what about in Langoliers?
Right, he was a cunt in that film. I liked him. I actually wanted him to survive, and I wanted everybody else to die in that movie.
He is like my favorite character.
Yeah, because he was tearing papers and getting an erection. Anyway, let's get into Scanners.
Wait, did we review that? Just by the way.
Sure, whatever. Who cares?
No, did we or no?
No, we didn't.
Okay, no, we should, because I love that movie.
Okay, so the Scanners. Let's get into Scanners, the film.
Wait, we're reviewing Scanners?
I think so. I think that's what we spoke about before we got into Bronson Pinchot. So it starts out with some long opening credits. I don't know why the fuck anybody finds opening credits interesting enough to have them on screen for at least 2 minutes. Maybe it's just the ADHD generation.
I don't know.
And I'm being a twat about it, but it's just text on
I like that word, twat. My mom uses that word sometimes.
It's very good. So it's just text
on... It makes me think of like a panda.
A panda isn't twats. So anyway, the opening credits are pretty bad. But the film itself, how does it start out?
It starts out with some bitchy woman in a diner, like...
You see
for no reason, just being so nasty to this guy.
Yeah, you see this kind of a charming, what are those guys called? A tramp, kind of like not the whorish kind, but a tramp in the way Charlie Chaplin was a tramp, where a lovable, scruffy
Yeah, he's like kind of like a hobo-ish.
Although he's not that badly shaved, so
yeah, he didn't look terrible. It's not like her reaction was so uncalled for.
He had a nice cleft chin. I think because he sat down, he did something in the movie that was pretty funny. Because he was just walking past by a counter and he steals a guy's French fry without him seeing it, eats it. And that reminded me of, so I don't know if I've ever told the story, but this friend regaled me about a story about a woman eating cheeseburgers at McDonald's. And she had a second cheeseburger on her plate while she was eating her first one. A homeless man stepped right up to her and started eating her second cheeseburger.
That's awesome.
Anyway, but that reminds me that was very funny.
Yeah, you know what's gross? When people, like, will take your food and they'll fucking, like, double dip in your food and stuff. Like, I had this girl once. She just starts grabbing my fries, getting her fingers all over them and stuff.
What did she dip it into?
And like dipping it into the thing, and then eating it, and then dipping it again.
Oh, she ate it and then dipped it in and ate it again.
Yeah, like what the fuck is wrong with you? Like I didn't even invite you. You're just some girl I kind of know. Like what?
Well, she wasn't pretty.
No, but even if she was, I don't want her touching my shit. Come on.
But you know, you would.
Like a little bit of a germaphobe.
What if it was your girlfriend?
No, it wasn't my girlfriend.
But I mean, if it was, you wouldn't have an issue, right?
No.
That's the funny thing, because when you're in a relationship...
Somebody sucks my dick and then kisses me with the cum in their mouth, then they can dip their fries.
Anyway, but, so what happens is Nameless Scanner guy, Nameless Tramp, sits down in his old bag, thinking shit about this guy. She's not talking shit, she's thinking shit about him. And he goes on, just attacks her. And I like the scanner effect where they kind of... I was foolishly watching this film with headphones on.
Call it the tea kettle effect.
Yeah, it's a tea. Is it really?
I don't know. It seems like it.
So you should have just said yeah, sure. But you hear this effect of a high-pitched squeal, kind of raise in volume, and the lady collapses on the floor. And there just so happens to be two guys who are a part of this shady organization watching, and they capture Mr. Scanner Man.
Mr. Lack.
After a little action scene where they chase him up a escalator and he hops from one escalator and then collapses and passes out. It's just funny. And what's funny is that he wakes up in a bed. He was probably molested by this doctor, who I thought was...
That guy did kind of have the look of it.
I thought the doctor was Martin Mull. You know the comedian actor? He did the voice for the cat on Sabrina the Teenage Bitch.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, me neither, but I see, you know.
Yeah, you know, that's like your favorite show.
So anyway, there's a sequence where the doctor brings in a whole group of people, and we get to see the full effect of that this guy can listen to people's thoughts, and it's just a room full of people, and he's just going berserk because he's tied up to his bed. And it instantly reminded me of this episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where she gets powers to hear everybody's thoughts, and she suffers the same kind of fate in the episode.
How does she lose the powers at the end?
I don't know. I think she sucks the devil's dick or something like that. Can you get into the next?
It has ephemerum or ephemeral. What's the name of the drug?
Ephemeral, right?
Ephemeral.
Ephemeral.
Whatever. The devil's cum has ephemeral in it.
But go ahead. What happens in the next infamous scene? The one that's most remembered in this film.
Oh yeah. So then there's this like little douchebag bald guy, and he's trying to... They're basically the company that the government is like keeping secret of all the scanners, is trying to show the public, like all these like politicians, a demonstration of what a scanner is. So then he asks for a volunteer from the audience, and the Daryl Revick, you know, you don't know who he is, you don't know that he's another scanner at this point, and he just like goes up and explodies the guy's head.
What do you think of the effect? I thought the effect was pretty cool for an old.
I liked it.
It kind of reminded me of Maniac when he jumps on top of the car and shoots the guy's head. He shoots Tom. Oh God, what's the name of that special effects guy?
How the fuck do I know? I don't even know my own name. He's the most famous
special effects guy. Is that how you forget it every episode? Anyway, the guy's head explodes in a pretty awesome way, and everybody in the room with the correct reactions freaks out.
How come Revick isn't covered in blood is my question.
Because he must have been able to control the blood spurts. Yeah, he was sitting right next, shoulder to shoulder with the guy, blows his head up, and he has no remnants on him.
None.
There so happens to be a police officer who I thought was going to be bigger in the film. Just holds him down, and then they try to put what the fuck is that drug called?
Ephemeral. A thermal? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
I'm looking it up right now and I can't read it because I'm busy talking. I'm looking at the Wikipedia. You say something about the scene while I read it up.
I don't want to talk. I've lost the ability to talk. Ephemeral.
Ephemeral. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So there's a sequence where the cop is dragging Daryl Revick down these stairs, and they're trying to spirit him off to, I guess, one of the labs. And the doctor is trying to put ephemeral into him. He's going to inject. It's funny. I've never seen them inject it into a palm in a film. That doesn't make any sense to. Yeah. Would it make sense to inject in a palm and not a vein? And while that's happening, Revick controls the doctor's mind because I guess he's that powerful. Instead of just blowing people's heads up, he can control people's minds. Why does
he just blow up everyone's head?
Yeah, I thought there would be something bigger than this.
I was hoping there was going to be a lot. Like every time that what's his douchebag head name? Cameron Vale is, controlling somebody not to shoot him. I'm like, come on, make him shoot himself.
Yeah, you always make them shoot the walls. I guess they're nice guys. They're nice scanners.
I don't want them to be nice. I want to see blood.
What I don't understand is that the cop is holding Revick in a headlock. He's very close to him where he can see his hands. And then the doctor decides to inject his own hand with the ephemeral.
And the other guy doesn't see.
He's looking right at him. I mean, wouldn't you see that he didn't put it into his own hand? Because ephemeral doesn't affect human beings. It just...
Well, it does. It affects fetuses.
Well, yeah. Well, in the sense that it doesn't stop their... it doesn't pacify them like it would a scanner.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense because you'd figure a drug... you figure it would be like a super drug for... if it creates scanners, why wouldn't it help them kind of be like the spinach to Popeye, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So anyway, that leads up to the scene. You're thinking that the cop is going to be a main guy, but nothing happens in the car crash. There's like a weird car crash scene, which doesn't make any sense because I don't know why Revick... I understand why Revick did what he did, but it doesn't make any sense on why he did it on such a large scale. Like, he didn't have to blow that guy's head up. It kind of seems like the whole idea is that
well, he was telling the public who he is. That was his demonstration for the public.
No, the bald guy?
Revick took it over.
Revick didn't need to, though. Revick, the whole point of that scene was Revick was killing this was killing the scanner that was allegiance. What the fuck is the word?
That he was
who's making an allegiance with Consec.
Yeah, but you know what?
He didn't have to go that over the top.
Demonstration for the public. He's saying like, "Don't fuck with us. We'll blow your heads up."
I guess, but I mean, it just didn't make any sense. And then he got himself caught. If he's so powerful, and he could just blew everybody up in the room, you know what I mean? He seems like he's the most powerful one out of all.
But he wants them to know about him, is what I'm saying. So he's not going to blow them all up. He wants them to like take the message, kind of.
But I don't think there was a. Forget it. I guess. I don't know. It just kind of confused me that he went through that tactic. Meanwhile, throughout the rest of the film, he's hypnotizing other people to do shit for him when he did that by himself. You know what I mean? He could have just,
it's like real pussy, and then he decides he's gonna go to Mars.
And then he gets into a fight with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and his arm gets torn off on an elevator shaft. It's really insane what happened.
That's a big elevator too.
It really was. I would
goes
shit
so
my
high.
bricks.
I mean, that's taller than like the Empire State Building.
So what do you think of Daryl? What's his name? Darren Revick? Larry Revick? Whatever. We'll call him Revick. What do you think about him as a character? I think he's probably the best actor in the film. And,
he totally is. That guy's awesome in everything he's in.
Yeah, Ironside is good. He has the voice, and he just kind of has the demeanor of an ice cold son of a bitch.
Him and this other dude that's in every movie. He was in Hard Target. This Revick other guy that also reminds me of...
Shit, man. You're talking about Bishop from Aliens, right? The robot from Aliens?
Yeah, exactly.
He's always good. They always have that. You know, there's those guys that...
these two guys are like every bad guy.
It's funny because I'll give shit to Kevin Spacey and Tom Hanks for acting the same way in their movies, but these guys act the same way in all their movies, and I like them. It's just funny. It doesn't make any sense, you know? Because
they always play minimal roles, not
right. That's true. They have this raspy kind of.
They're like the cool standout. Like, oh, here's like the asshole of the movie. Like,
yeah, that's just because the guy has a raspy voice and he's a white guy. The only other person that's like the highest one out of all of them, going back to Total Recall, is Ronnie Cox, the guy who played the evil boss at OCD or OCP.
Oh, Cohagen?
Yeah, Cohagen. Yeah, because he was Cohagen and he was the guy from RoboCop.
Oh, okay. He's in charge of OCD or whatever the fuck it's called. Not OCD. That's obsessive compulsive.
They make the robots pick up coins off the floor over and over.
Or what the fuck is it?
OCP, I think it was. But anyway, you know that kind of actor where they just act like an asshole. That guy Ronnie Cox is the best. I don't give a shit. If you just watch his double features in RoboCop and Total Recall, like it's just the best. Anyway,
cool.
So going back to the film, now we're Michael Ironside's character Revik kills all those police officers. He makes a whole big hassle and then he just runs off into the night. We're led to the Consec boardroom, which deals with the good doctor, who looks
Dr. Ruth, like the sex doctor.
Yeah, that it hit me later on in the film. I was like, what a dick. And,
do you know that I have a neighbor who is like related to Dr. Ruth?
Do you think Dr. Ruth ever fucked anybody, like for real?
I think Dr. Ruth probably did like ass to mouth and like all
really,
kinds of...
but like in her old, because I'm sure in like when she was younger, she looked the same way. Like
she probably had like
you think she was getting
that's as wide as my leg.
You think when she was like 20, she was like in Romania? Where's she from? She's Russian, something like that.
She's from somewhere in not America.
Czechoslovakia. Like she was just getting pounded hard, and she was like, "Oh, good," you know. Just getting, and she probably had the same old Ethiopian man body that she does now. She was getting pounded really hard. Oh yes, oh good, and she was like, you know, the guy was just putting 2 Benoit balls and a butt plug in her.
I don't even want to say what I'm who I'm thinking of because it's a friend's mom that you are. And anyway. I don't want him to get upset if we mention my name.
Anyway, so. We're also introduced to Braden Keller, who's actually he's a pretty good actor in this film. Lawrence Dane, who's like the comes off kind of like the stiff suit kind of guy in the corporation, and he they're trying to figure out why Revik is why Revik came out of nowhere.
Revik is like converting all their guys basically.
Right.
They have a list of like 200 scanners. Revik is like taking them out.
Right. So what happened is that Ruth had that bald scanner, the one that got his head exploded. Was the last kind of scanner that they had before they found the Cameron Vale. So Revik doesn't know about Vale yet, and they're trying to figure out why this has happened. Like, you know, are the scanners listening to our minds? What's going on? Where's the leak coming from? It has to be coming from within. And what Ruth says is that he feels that he should make Cameron Vale a inside agent, sort of, you know. Why they didn't fucking do... What's that?
He's making him a spy, basically.
Right, why they didn't do that from the first time, I don't know. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You think they would do that from the beginning. They're like, okay, let's put us
who knows?
Guy. Let's put this guy we just found. Let's make him the spy. The guy who's a homeless tramp for...
But then you get to find out why he does it.
Right. And we're introduced... Go on, you say something, because I'm talking to people.
Okay.
People don't like me, they like Danny.
So he makes him, like, basically, this Dr. Ruth, this old pedophile, is going to make Cameron Vale his secret spy to infiltrate Daryl Revik's, you know, find out how the fuck he's getting all the scanners. And then, you know, pretty much the entire movie is just, like, Cameron walking around trying to find other scanners and then people dying everywhere.
That's about it, but that guy really
is pretty much the movie, and it's kind of boring, actually, I gotta say.
It's
like,
not that good. Cameron Vale's a really bad actor. He's really fucking bad. He's
it's just good. Like, I don't know, the movie is a little boring.
The best acting in the film is that Dr. Ruth shows Cameron Vale footage from 1967, footage of just them when they first meet Revik. And what happened is he tried to do trepanation, I guess, in a way, right? He put a drill to his forehead.
What? Yeah, it's an ode to Frankenhooker.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. And, you know, trepanation is a belief that you can drill a hole into your skull and it opens up the third eye. And he has this cool little bandage on his forehead where he drew an eye in the center of it. And he attacks this woman. I don't know, he doesn't really, what's the word?
What?
He really show. Damn, what the fuck is the phrase? When you do something, he telegraphs it. He really telegraphs that he's about to throw a bottle at this woman because.
Oh yeah.
It looks like he's about to do a magic trick because he's like, you know what I think, and then he grabs a cup and then he swings all the way to the right like he's about to go presto and like pull a rabbit out of his hat, and he dumps the water and he throws it at the screen and breaks the window. I don't think he meant to break that window because it's hilarious. As you see the window shatter and he's just looking at it like, oh, for like a second. And then he pulls the bandaging off his face, and he reveals a hole. And I'm like, okay, whatever, it's a hole in his head. But then you see this bad actor, Cameron Vale, almost vomit and do a backflip.
Motherfucker.
So basically what Ruth does is instill in his mind that if Revik gets any more power, they're basically going to destroy all of regular humanity. Which, I don't know.
Bastards.
But it kind of seems like the scanners are okay.
But you know what? No, he's not. Because seriously, how many scanners get killed in this movie? Like, right off the bat. Like, they could kill them all. It's easy.
Yeah, all you need is a gun. I mean, but you gotta be far away.
It's not like they're immortal.
Yeah, all you need is to shoot people, but they need to...
all you gotta do is kind of, like, surprise them, get, like, 10 guys, and that's it. Like, the only ones who are strong is Daryl and Cameron. That's it.
Basically, they're the Akira... I would like to say Akira... Tetsuo and Kaneda, but it's mostly like Tetsuo and Akira kind of thing. Like, they're the only ones with superpowers in this film. So what we find out is that what is this asshole? What's his name? Cameron Vale. He's sent off to find an artist. The guy who's even a
pretty cool artist too.
His work in the film reminded me of your work, actually.
Yeah, I liked it. I
was like, wow, this is cool. I would love to do. It's funny. And then also that comic book that you wrote that we haven't done yet. That reminded me of like the work that I was going to draw for his character in there too.
Which one?
The artist.
Yeah.
Okay, so the artist, like, he does these really huge plaster pieces of like really disturbing stuff, and I would love to do plaster to do stuff like that, but I have no money to make huge plaster pieces. But anyway,
space. Where the hell do you put stuff like that?
Right, Benjamin Pierce is the artist. Robert A. Silverman, who's even. It's just his delivery or something, because he was also in Dead Zone, I believe, as
which guy was
the artist in the film. I believe he played the henchman for Martin Sheen's character in Dead Zone.
Really?
Yeah, because when I saw
the connection.
When I saw him, I was like, where do I know this guy's face from? Then I realized I just saw, scanners.
And I see your face.
So he's this artist that does
I'm a believer.
He's this artist that makes all these huge, weird pieces about violence and whatever, weird shapes and faces and stuff like that. And he was in jail for trying to kill his family. And what he got into was artwork. And I mean, it's not necessarily important to the storyline,
It's just cool. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's just interesting. And he himself is a scanner, but I believe he's been approached by Revik, but he didn't go with it or something like that. But he knows other scanners.
Yeah, but then one second, and then he's gonna get killed randomly, coincidentally, as soon as that guy Cameron. That's when they start caring. Like,
yeah, right. It's really weird because
it's all like, I mean, obviously, yeah, like he's killed because of Cameron, I'm sure. But
the funniest part is that these 4 hitmen come by, and of course they focus on this one woman's huge butt when she comes out of her the truck or the car, and then Cameron Vale starts to, scan these people.
Why doesn't he make them kill themselves?
Right, because 3. I thought they all died, but you see.
Horrible. All he does is knock them over. It's so dramatic. All he does is push them.
It doesn't.
It would be like a slow motion of you tripping over your shoelace or something. Like, who cares? Why is it so dramatic?
The funniest part is that these people start to shake when they're getting scanned, but only black people could make shaking like he was about to start dancing. the black guy looked cool, like he was about. Yeah, he's gonna be in Rise Part 2 and start dancing and shit in the street.
I just don't understand why him pushing them is like a big deal.
I think he just gave them a massive headache and made them fall down because he wanted to control it.
This movie is so much like Firestarter. Like, I see no way that it didn't rip off Firestarter.
Cameron Vale was not a murderer, and I guess that's what we should be used to because we were like, oh, he should just blow.
Yeah, but at least knock out his teeth, something. I don't know.
Because a moment before that, the Dr. Ruth had made him test his skills on a yogi, the bear, and he made this guy's heartbeat go fast. He was about to kill him, but he controlled it. So it's kind of like Cameron is a nice guy version as opposed to this douchebag, Daryl Revik.
Oh no, he did seem a little creepy in that scene.
He did. But I think that was more to lead the audience to believe that this guy's not.
It was more to lead the audience to believe that something interesting would happen during the movie.
And nothing happens. And what's funny is that Revik controls these 4 hitmen to come up the staircase. And one of them, was it the 4 hitmen from before? Or it was 2 hitmen, right?
There's like 8 million hitmen. It's all irrelevant.
So it's the same black guy, crumping guy from the first scene. And they're going up the stairs, and after the artist gets killed, he he passes on some information to Cameron Vale, and Vale goes off to this other group, and he finds a group of scanners that are the nice guys, and then just leads to this whole action scene, which is all right. But I mean, it's why does Revik, if he controls a legion of scanners, why is he just using regular hitmen to shoot them? Wouldn't they just, you know?
Well, supposedly he didn't send those guys to kill
Revik?
Cameron. Remember, he says at the end.
But didn't you see the scene where Revik is standing there and it's literally showing him possessing the other people?
Yeah,
Did you not see that happen?
I don't know. I think it's a little confusing.
Oh, he probably. Oh, I get what it is.
He was trying to guide him.
Yeah, he was. No, he was guiding he was trying to kill everybody around Cameron Vale.
Maybe he's trying to say
the game's trust.
Maybe he's actually just knowing. Okay, his hitman will be killed.
Right. He wasn't. He wasn't going to kill Cameron Vale himself. He was just killing everybody around him so he wouldn't be led astray. But it was.
But he wanted to maybe.
Let's just say Revik had some.
Seem as if he's a threat to lead him.
Yeah, Revik is just has shitty timing because he could have just killed everybody else before this guy found that. I guess he just didn't know anything better. And
then there's like this whole like very anticlimactic scene with that telephone part. You know, where he's hacking into
they try to come up with some horse shit where the neurons in the computer are the same as the neurons of a person's mind, because I really try to stop.
Basically, to sum it up, he finds out that Daryl Revik is like
in control of Ephemeral
company that like makes Ephemeral, whatever the fuck it's called, and so he's gonna hack in the computer to find out who is the like scab. Or the turncoat or whatever. Is it scab? No, scabber people go get strikes.
Yeah. And what we find out is that Keller's actually the dickhead trying to do this stuff. And Keller meets his demise. Everybody's getting killed left and right. And then we find out Ephemeral is actually the drug
that creates scanners.
Yeah, but wouldn't Ruth know that he did that he created that? Because there's a whole scene.
Ruth is a bit of an asshole too. You find out
before Ruth dies, he has this whole inner monologue that I thought totally derailed the film because it made absolutely no sense. Because
as it's happening, I'm like, wait, what is it doing right now?
He's talking.
Is he a scanner? I think he might be a little bit of a scanner.
You think he was? Yeah, because there was something going on with that fucking character at the end. Before he dies, he has this whole big inner monologue in his mind about some shit that made no sense.
Revik said that he could sense other scanners.
Oh,
so maybe he is just like psychic enough to know who is a scanner, and also he's saying like, I gotta turn it off. Like, so he might be like a little bit of a scanner.
You think he was shooting a load inside all that Ephemeral, and they just used that?
It came out like fucking yogurt, probably.
Oh man, and it flew up in the air too.
It was like soft serve ice cream cum.
So what they were doing, there was a pretty cool scene though where as we totally passed over Kim Obrist, who's the female character. Of course, you have to shove a love.
She's a little annoying too.
She is, but she's a good actor, so I'll forgive her for that. Related to everybody else in this film, and she gets scanned by a baby.
Yeah.
And I think the Ephemeral was originally sold as a anti-vomiting pill or something for pregnant women or something like that.
It was something involving pregnant women, but whatever.
I did like that.
It failed.
I did like that little ad that they had made. It was like a whole 50s ad. They actually took time to draw 50s style art for this ad.
Yeah.
And anyway, but the film itself, it's okay, but it's not a strong film. I think
I do like the very ending, the very, very ending.
Yeah, the very ending is pretty awesome. It's old school comic book mind battle between two psychics at the end, and it becomes really gory. Like that was the first thing I ever saw from Scanners besides the head exploding, and I thought that scene was pretty good. But
and then the last
there's just a lot of shit.
Was awesome.
There's a lot of shit you got to go through before you see it. I mean, I like Cronenberg's work. Obviously, The Fly, and the Dead Zone after it.
He's a good director, but
he
it
really
was just like kind of.
I think he was kind of with this one. It's kind of okay. It's not really the best, and people suck this movie's dick for whatever reason.
That's the thing that's upsetting because I went into this expecting this to be like, how have I never seen this? Everyone always talks about this. I'm supposed to be in the horror movies. I've never seen Scanners, and it's like not that good. Like whatever.
Yeah, it's okay. It's like
pretty cool. I'm glad I saw it, but like,
what worked for you and what didn't work?
I mean, it was just so repetitive, and the acting was so terrible. Like for the most part,
really
I don't usually care about bad acting, but if there's not that much happening and there's bad acting, that's like a bad combo.
Yeah, Revik was good. and the artwork was good.
Yeah, I love like fucking.
And the final battle was good. But
Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, because those are like pumped full of action, so it doesn't matter that he's not that great an actor, you know?
Yeah, I was kind of like almost sleeping towards the half end of this film. I was watching it last night, and I was like, it wasn't that
And
good.
it's like when you describe it, like, yeah, it's like psychics and battles. It sounds so cool, but like they just like really drag it out. Like they could have cut this movie in half, which I say a lot. Actually,
just like we should have done with this episode.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, it's an okay film. What's your rating on it?
I'm gonna give it like a 6,
yeah.
And that's being a little generous. Out of 10, 6 out of 10. Finding out that
there's really nothing to pick out of this.
What?
Go ahead.
6 out of 10. And slowly pulling your cheeks off into big gashes, and your eyes bursting out in little like streams of red. I like that scene.
Also, they did do that whole bullshit. You're my brother, and Dr. Ruth was our father. Shit.
And
at the end.
Can you just fucking tell me? Oh wait, no. This is actually never mind.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Black guy crumping while he's getting scanned. So with that, what's the next film?
Dead Zone. Well, actually, it's your choice.
No, that was your choice. I chose Scanners.
Oh, did you? Oh, that was my choice? Okay, well, I would have chosen them both anyway, so it's fine.
I should have scanned you right out of this episode. Alright, with that, what is... Oh, also, there was the great part when he's scanning all those people at the artist's place. He does this joke Jim Carrey face. You gotta look for it. Anyway, so with that, what's the final word?
Administration.
Horror deconstruction.